this session is going to be looking at today. This is our governance specific session, and we're going to have a look at site amendments, safety reporting, and responding to requests for information for our site amendments. I will be walking through an amendment in the session, but what I'm going to be showing you can definitely be applied to both your safety reporting or to your amendments that you submit. It's the same functionality, how you respond and how you create them and submit them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to navigate to our project, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can find your project. So when I say project, when your site application is reviewed and then it's ultimately authorized, it has a project created. When it is under that review, it is an application. So that's why I'm saying project, just a bit of clarity there. In your top 5 projects to the left of the screen here, this is my recently accessed or worked on studies. So it's a rotating list if I have more than 5 studies in the system. I can see the study I want to use is right here, so I could go ahead and click on this, and that will take me to the overall project details for that study. I can also use the view all or projects at the top of the screen, and if I click on that, that just gives me a full list of all of my studies currently in the system. If I can't see it there and I want to go ahead and submit an amendment or a safety report for this specific study. You can use the title of your study in the search bar above here, okay, or you can use the project identifier and throw it in here as well. Or if you see it, like I can see mine on the screen, I just go ahead and I can click on the title, and again it's going to take me directly to my overall project details, and I'll be able to locate my site project from there. I'll just kind of show you on the screen. I'm just going to, in the middle here, click and drag this over. If you're just wondering what this is a hierarchy table. This will just show you what you've got in the system. The project identifier is your parent document. Based on your responses in that, you may have an ethics application generated and or site applications, or just site applications, depending where your ethics exists. Once your study is authorized or approved, you get your projects generated. So just to the right is your projects. So if I hover over that, this is your application. So just a bit of an FYI, if you see this when you start in the system and you're not sure what this tree is, it's just showing you the progress of your application to being ultimately authorized or approved. You could click on that if you wanted to, guys, but to your left, so what we can see here is we've got our studies just to the left here. If you want a full view of this, use this expand or collapse option just in the middle of the screen here, and it will just expand it over there, and you can always put it back if you need to. What we're going to look at though, I want to have a look at my site amendment or safety reporting. So I have to go to the project and then find the forms. So I click on the identifier of that study, and it's going to take me into the project details. And because safety reporting and amendments are forms in the system, I use this form header. And this is where I will be able to locate my safety reporting or amendments to create them. I've got a couple on the screen here that I've already worked on. If you are initially creating your amendment or safety report in the system, this new form button that is in the top right-hand corner will be nice and big right in the middle of the screen for you. And then all you do is hit that new form button, and we have our options here. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of walk you through safety reporting. Like I said, I'm going to take you through an amendment from start to finish, but I do want to show you the reporting local safety event to the institution safety form, so you know what it looks like here. In REGIS, there are 2 types of safety reporting to the Research Governance Office, the RGO. We've got SSI from approving HREC, so our ethics is external to REGIS, or we've got a local safety event such as a SUSA. I try and pronounce these and it's probably terrible. I'm going to say USAD and USA. I'm sure that's terrible pronunciation, but what we can see is what we've got on the screen here. If we are submitting a local safety event, this should be completed as notification to the RGO, the local RGO, when it is in the opinion of investigator, one of the following has occurred at the site. So we'll click on that. Okay, and we've got that information here. Again, a suspected unexpected serious adverse event, an unanticipated serious adverse device effect, and we've got an unexpected and related serious adverse event as well. Okay, so what we can see on the screen here as well is it should be submitted within 72 hours of the site becoming aware of the event. So just got that nice basic information here. If we go through the form, you can see we've got to provide information regarding the type of trial it is, when the event occurred, where it occurred, summary, will it fall outside of management of events in accordance with the protocol. So again, yes, no, you're providing responses here as appropriate, and you upload a document as appropriate to the type of reporting to your RGO. If I were to select SSI from approving HREC, what you can see here straight away is that the system recognizes I actually have my ethics approved in REGIS. It's telling me not to submit this because this should be submitted against my ethics application in REGIS. So that's what this red warning is. The system recognizes when you have ethics in and when you don't have ethics in REGIS. As you can see, this says don't submit it against the STE, which we're in, submit it through my ethics. If your ethics is external, you won't have this red warning message, okay, guys? You'll be able to go ahead and submit this SSI as appropriate. And again, it's just got some basic information here. Is there a suspension or temporary halt of the ethics approval? Yes, no. Provide documents here. So really straightforward in asking the questions there, providing your responses, guys, and then we submit it. The reason I'm not going to submit this one is because I want to go through the amendment, general amendment, which is most likely something you're going to be doing. So again, just to reiterate, a significant safety issue notification to REGIS sites for another jurisdiction. It's completed as notification to your local RGO that an SSI has been notified to the approving HREC. And in this instance, if ethics was eternal, it would be in another jurisdiction. If ethics exists in REGIS, we wouldn't be submitting this. We'd let our ethics team submit it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get out of here. And just something real quick, guys, if I don't want this form here, I haven't submitted it to the research office at all yet. I've just created it and now I realize that I've done it incorrectly. I need to do the SSI through my ethics team because I have ethics in REGIS. You can delete this form. If you have submitted the form, you can't delete it, okay? The research office has to provide a response to process this form for you. So I haven't submitted this to my research office yet. This is the only time you'll be able to delete a form. Anything that is submitted to your research office has to be processed by them. If you haven't submitted it like I didn't, I can delete the form at that point. So just quickly, when ethics is in REGIS and it is reported through the HREC, there are some flow-throughs to governance. So when ethics exists in REGIS, that means it's managed by a New South Wales or an ACT HREC. And NHMRC guidance compliance is now streamlined. So what that means is that safety reporting to HRECs is submitted, an acknowledgement email, which includes the safety report form, is sent to the coordinating principal investigator, principal investigators in REGIS, their admin contacts, and if a sponsor contact role is set up in the system, they also get notified. Once it's been approved, the CPI, PIs, and admin contacts are advised via an approval notification. So again, that approval email will include the safety report, and it's automatically shared with related sites' research governance officers within REGIS. So those sites will review the approval email and safety reports, but they don't provide individual acknowledgements. So the only time the PIs would be contacted is if further information is required. You don't have to remember everything I've just said, guys. We do have this information available in our quick reference guides. It's available online for you. What I'm going to do though now, I'm going to go ahead, hit this new form button, and we're going to create an amendment. Anyone with edit and submit, or the principal investigator can create the site amendment and provide the data. Only the principal investigator or someone delegated submit, so edit and submit access, can submit this form. So anyone with edit access won't be able to do that. So what we can see here is we've got a few amendments on the screen here. So this just lets you know what needs HREC approval. So we can see general amendments, addition of a New South Wales site in this instance, notification of a change of CPI, notification of a change of PI, and extension of HREC approval. These have to go through the HREC first. And amendments that can be submitted directly to the Research Governance Office are adding and removing local site investigators or admin contacts, and contract changes. So again, this information is on the screen. You don't have to worry about trying to remember this all. When you do create your amendments, this is going to be on the screen for you. Little asterisks here, really important. So addition of a New South Wales site amendment form does not need to be submitted when ethics is in REGIS because the system will notify the RGOs upon approval. So a lot of automation in the system, guys. It takes that double handling of ethics approving, the PI then having to go and submit the same documents to their RGO. You don't have to do that. The system has a lot of automation to reduce that workload for you as well. We can see a double asterisk here, okay, and that's specifically related to the admin contact section here. When adding or removing admin contacts, this is completed on submission of the form, okay? So if you say, for example, have an admin contact on your study and you remove them, it is removed instantly once you submit that form. The RGO does not need to review a change in admin contact for your study. Scrolling down, project details, so basic project details here, we can see the study title, study type, and this little message asking us if the study type is correct. So this is really important, guys, but I will kind of stress that I wouldn't think you'd be seeing a lot of this if your studies are created within REGIS, as in they weren't migrated many years ago. When we had migrated studies, it was all manual data we were provided to put into the system, and sometimes with manual data, there was incorrect data. If it does look incorrect though, guys, contact the reviewing research office. They can update this for you pretty quickly, and then you can go ahead and submit your amendment. The reason it's really important that you don't submit an amendment if the study type's incorrect is because REGIS uses smart form technology, and based on your study type, it'll show or hide questions based on that. So you might not have all the questions appropriately asked for your study. So what we've got down here is the site details. So PI's details here, we can see the site name, site ID, so the STE identifier. So STE in the system, guys, it's site without the I. And just below that, we've got the amendment types. So we've got addition of site, CPI change, PI change, HREC extension, change site investigators, admin contacts, general and contract changes. We're going to go with general for this training session here, guys, so I can show you how to manage some documents in the system. What we can see here, we've got some information to provide. Is this requiring any changes to contracts? No, I'm just going to fill the data in. So again, fill it in as appropriate to the amendment you're submitting. I can't tell you the answers to provide here because obviously every study is very different. Don't put an X though. If you're providing a summary, you will get this sent back to you. What we can see here, this is a really, really important part, guys. So if ethics exists for you in REGIS, what happens is, say, for example, an ethics general amendment has been approved in the system and it has affected your site document, and now you need to amend your site document so it's in line with that master document. Ethics is approved in REGIS, the PI gets notified as well as the CPI when that's approved. There is a form ID included in the approval notification email, and this is what this is asking for. It's asking for that specific ID that's going to be in that approval email. So I'm going to look at mine and see which one says approved. Good, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So we've got some form IDs in here. It's for an amendment. This is ethics specific wording, just an FYI. So notification of amendment to research study. So that's the ethics approval form ID. Again, ethics exists in REGIS. CPI details, it's been an approved amendment on this date. Very, very important, guys. The reason you should be selecting this form ID when ethics exists in REGIS is because you don't have to then upload the ethics approved documents, the ethics approval, anything like that, okay? By selecting this form ID, your RGO is going to get this submission and they're going to be able to use this particular number in the system and find those ethics approved documents. The system automatically shares those with the related sites in REGIS. This is information regarding how to upload a document in the system, as well as what's a new version versus a new document. If we click on the bubbles here, we have information on how to upload a new version of a document, as well as the formatting of the document there, versus uploading a new document. So again, information how to do that. We click on the bubble to close it. I'm just using that add document button to pull up my document row. Uploading a new version of a document means this document already exists in REGIS. It's been authorized. What you're doing is, say it's version 1, you have version 2 now, you're going to put version 2 on top of version 1. So version 2 will be visible in the system as the current document. If you're not sure if your document exists in REGIS, select yes anyway, okay, and have a look in the approved documents list here. This is the easiest way to have a look. So you don't have to jump back out. You can see it right here if that document exists in the system. It's really important, guys, if you are very fresh in the system or you're very new to creating amendments, please be very mindful. If your document does exist in REGIS, please upload it as a new version. This will just make managing documents for yourself and your study team so much easier in the system. If you were to select no, you're adding another document in the system. So you'll have version 1 visible, you'll have version 2 visible, you might have version 3 visible, instead of having one version and they're all sitting on top of each other. So version 3, for example, would be your current document. New document title here. So what I've done, I've selected my approved document from my drop-down list. So I'm going to say site, pick form, version 2, dated 2nd March 2023. I'm just keeping it really simple for myself, guys. Obviously, the version and date. would be per the footer of your document. So you're trying to match that. If your document doesn't have version or date, you don't add the version and date, you just add the title. At this point, what I want to do is I want to put my clean document in, so I can click drag and drop it, and it's going to upload there. What else I want to do, I want to make sure that I have my tracked copy in the system too, guys. Why that's important is that's going to show your research office a really quick red line review of that document. They can see exactly what's been changed. If you don't upload a tracked copy, 99% of the time it's going to go back to you and they're going to ask for a tracked copy so they can see exactly what you've changed from version 1 to version 2. So just be really mindful when you are creating your documents to have that tracked copy available as well. So I'm just adding another document row here because I'm adding my tracked copy now. It is not a new version. It has never been approved. Your tracked documents will never be approved in the system, or they shouldn't. What you want to say is, look, it's a brand new document. My research office has never seen this. I'm going to be really nice and easy on myself. I'm going to say it's my tracked copy. So I'm just indicating with the TC. If you like to say tracked or tracked copy, go ahead and do that. You can keep it as the same document type. I like to keep it the same, so I'm just going to keep it as a participant consent form. And nice and handy, I've got my tracked copy just to the side. If you needed to add any further documents, you could absolutely do so using this add document button. If you added one too many rows, we just use that delete icon and we go ahead and hit next. At this point, if I only had edit access, I would go ahead and hit save in the top right-hand corner. I'd let my principal investigator or anyone with delegate submit access know that it's ready for submission. Validate is not a button you guys will have, just a little FYI. That's just my button I have for training and testing. Preview will just download a copy of this form for you. Previous takes you back to the previous page as well. But I'm the principal investigator, so what's going to happen? I can go ahead and hit submit. Once I hit submit, this is then going to go to my research office for review, and hopefully it's approved. If it is not approved and perhaps more information is required, what happens is an email is sent to the principal investigator and admin contact listed in the system, and it provides information on what we need to complete in order to get our amendment approved. You can see it's gone to the status of submitted. So submitted means it is out of your hands from a researcher perspective. It is now with your research governance office for review. When governance have amendments created against them, what happens is that the initial amendment submitted does not become editable. A more information required form is created, which we can see here. So that's a big difference. If anyone does deal with both ethics and governance, you'll see that difference. So just zoom in here. So if more information is required, like I said, guys, we do get an email notification being sent to the PI and any admin contacts listed in the system. We can see who it's going to, what the study is, and what happens. So it's been reviewed, more information required. So looks like I missed a contact detail in my pick form. That's okay. That's what I need to update. Below that is responding to requests for information. So if you need to have a look at a guidance document or you prefer to watch a short video, you have that option here as well. Below that, so the reason that the amendment is not editable is because it was initially an amendment that was submitted to the HREC. So it's, in this instance, the master pick form was changed. We're now changing the site pick form based on that. We just want more information regarding that. So a more information form has been created. We can have some links here. And if I click on that link, it'll take me to project details. So the page I was on just before I clicked that form setup. So I'll just click on that. In this instance, I have to click the forms header, but very quickly for you, it's pretty much click the link and then click the header here, and we're on the page we were just on. So again, utilizing the links in your emails, I highly recommend, and then just following the guidance here. So we're after this more information required form. Just below that just lets you know what's going to happen once you submit it, and if you have any questions to contact that RGO. So again, anyone with edit and submit or the PI can access this more information required form to provide that response. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And this is what it is, guys. It's a big free text box if I need to respond to query here. Okay, do so here. I can do it there. If I need to amend documents which I've been told to, you're submitting the documents again because those documents you previously submitted aren't authorized. They don't exist in the system. So think of it as you're submitting them again. New version, choosing the document here. So I'm going to say, look, it's my site, pick form, version 2, dated to March 2023. And again, I'm just going to upload that document. If you're making a very minor change, guys, I would find it very unlikely that you would be changing the versioning. I'm just going to say, look, this is 2.1, but if you're literally maybe amending a footer, maybe you forgot to put the new date on it, I wouldn't think you'd have to really change your versioning. I'm just doing it for training. So if that's something you're not sure about, I would recommend contacting your research office. Just to keep it good as well, guys, we want to make sure we upload our tracked copy. Remembering tracked copies, they do not get approved. So I'm just saying this is going to be my tracked copy. I'm going to say it's my participant consent form as well. I like to keep it the same. You can use that change tracking option if you like. And again, I'm just put it to 2.1. Once I've completed all the data here, nice and easy, I hit submit. Again, if you are not a delegate with submit access or the PI, you'd be hitting that save option. So once that's been submitted, fantastic, it's with the research office. Once this is approved, what happens in the system is this form will be approved and then this initially submitted form is also approved. So we get all of that in the system, it's all connected. So you don't have to worry about this not showing as approved. Once that more information required has been approved, the system knows that the initially submitted amendments also will be approved.